What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. We have a lot to discuss in this update here. We have some very important pieces of economic data that all of you guys need to understand. There is a big misunderstanding of what's really important in terms of the main pieces of economic data that everybody likes to look at, the unemployment rate, economic growth, and also these inflation metrics. And I think that's leading to a lot of confusion on exactly why we are seeing the moves in the market today that we are seeing. Now, in addition, and as always, we're going to be talking about some of your guys' favorite names here. Neo, Palantir, Sofi, and HIMS, going over the most relevant pieces of news so to keep you guys updated here, and also the charts so that you guys have a good understanding of what to expect in the short term. So, before we get into all of that information, if you guys do enjoy the information and analysis that I provide for you guys in these videos here, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it helps me out a whole lot to spread these videos out to as many people who actually want to learn. And again, if you're not subscribed yet, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you're notified every time these videos do end up getting posted live. And as always, massive shout out to all of the members of my private trading and investing community, Less Trades, More Profits. I'm going to throw up some game screenshots over here, guys. I seriously don't know how many more times you guys need to see me call out the filthiest trades that the market has to offer. There's been 4 multi-1000% trades in the last month here. Remember, prices are going up at the end of the month here. If you guys want to get 50% off your first month, use code August and that'll lock you in at the lower rate there. Again, you guys have seen the results time and time again, especially on those live streams every single day. If you guys actually want to come and learn how to have success in the market, this is really the only place that you need to be. So, let's get right into it over here and start talking a little bit about some of this economic data. So, first things first, we received Producer Price Index data today, PPI. U.S. July producer prices rose 3.3% year over year, with the estimate being at 2.5. Month over month, we saw a 0.9% increase, with the estimate being at 0.2. In July, core PPI prices rose 0.9%, with the estimate at 0.2. And also the year over year on core for PPI, 3.7%, with the estimate at 2.9. Now, when you look at this data, let's say that you're looking at this in a vacuum and you're saying, well, producers are witnessing much higher prices here. This is very, very, very bad. But we have to think about the entire board that we're seeing here and think about all of the different moving parts. Earlier this week, we received CPI data. The actual number here was 2.7% year over year on headline. The forecast was 2.8 and the previous was 2.7. So when you see a drastic increase to producer prices, but you're not really seeing that massive effect on consumer prices yet, what that is telling me is that these producers and these corporations right now are eating a lot of the cost of these tariffs. This is the exact demand argument that I've been outlining for you guys over the last 8 months. These corporations are going to understand that they cannot raise prices any further because their sales will absolutely plummet. If they want to keep up the volumes that they currently have, they're not going to be able to raise prices significantly. Now, we also have to think about what type of effect this is actually going to have on, let's say, economic growth and corporations' earnings. If you're going to see margins compress, well, obviously earnings aren't going to look as good, which could lead to a slowdown in economic growth. Now, thinking about this picture even broader here, well, we also just saw the non-farm payroll report get significantly revised to the downside, suggesting that the unemployment rate is a little bit higher. So here's what we have. We have potential growth slowdown. We also have a higher unemployment rate, and we also don't have consumers witnessing those aggressively higher prices that all of these genius economists have been telling us was going to happen all year long. What this actually does, and it seems counterintuitive, is actually increase the odds for rate cuts over the next couple of months here. Now, the only thing that would detract from that is that if PPI is leading CPI here, and we do end up seeing these aggressive moves up in PPI starting to trickle down into CPI, but we have not seen that yet, and that could be reflected in PCE data coming over the next couple of weeks, but that is why the market is reacting the way that it is so far today. So now let's get into a couple of these individual names here. The first one that I want to talk about is Neo. Now, what have we been talking about with Neo over the last couple of weeks here? We do have a relatively bullish daily chart set up here that has been forming on Neo, but one of the things that I've been talking about is this is not one that I am really looking to trade. Neo is going to move all over the place. It's a Chinese stock. It is one of those stocks that is not really all that loved by the market, and is definitely going to witness a lot of short-term volatility here. Now, what I will say is a positive sign for Neo here, even though it is down a decent amount on the day, is that we did come down and almost perfectly respect this daily 200 exponential moving average, and that is going to be that line in the sand that you really want to defend here. Now, some of the interesting pieces of news coming out with NIO: Onvo L90 delivers over 4,000 units 10 days after launch. That is a very solid sign, but when we come over here and take a look at this, Onvo to compensate customers if their delivery wait exceeds 4 weeks. Remember, this was a big problem on one of these previous releases with that new Onvo model that came out, I believe at the end of last year there in Q4 of 2024. And they need to make sure that this delivery process of this vehicle is going to go smoothly because they are obviously not wanting to have unhappy customers. So it is a good thing that they are offering this type of compensation if these deliveries wait times do exceed 4 weeks, and that could end up in the short term causing more people to feel a little bit more comfortable going out and buying this product here. But the fact that they even have to come out and say that this is an issue time and time again really isn't all that great. After the learning process that they went through the last time, you would hope that they are able to get this delivery process under control, but again, that has yet to be seen. And again, with a company like NIO here, I know there are a lot of you guys that are watching this video that are thinking of it as some sort of lottery ticket. You're going all in. Again, with any stock, you don't want to be doing that in the market, but at the end of the day, it is your money. You can do whatever you want with it, no matter how stupid the decision actually is. Again, I have about 4,000 shares of NIO at an average of 455. I'm treating it like an option. This is not a big position for me at all, but if we do end up seeing NIO coming out and actually meeting some of these goals here that have been outlined to shareholders, and they're actually able to deliver, we can see a pretty big re-rating in the market here, and this one could end up trading a lot higher, but it is always going to come down to if they are able to deliver, because there has been a lot of over-promising and under-delivering over the last few years, and again, at this point, it is kind of make or break for NIO, really in the retail investor space over the next couple of quarters here, going into, let's say, the second half of 2026. If they are able to meet these goals, they are obviously taking some very positive steps in the right direction, but we are going to need to see some significant results here. Now, the next one that I want to talk about is Palantir. So again, after a very strong reaction to their earnings report, we are seeing a little bit of a pullback here to that daily 10 exponential moving average here. Again, like I say with Palantir a lot, this is not a name that you want to buy at these elevated levels, but this is definitely not one that you want to go out and short. Guys, there is always a time and a place to be either entering or selling a lot of these positions here. Despite what everybody will tell you on the internet, dollar cost averaging into individual names is not a smart thing to do. And a lot of the ways that we teach everything, or really I teach everything in the LTMP community there, making sure that you guys know when the right times are to be entering some of these positions here from a risk to rewards perspective is going to help you out a lot more over the long run versus listening to these quite honestly inexperienced and unsuccessful market participants that are surrounding everybody on social media, really leading you guys to the slaughter there. So again, this one, very strong name here. If you guys are still in this one from when I gave it to you guys at 15, that is an over 1,000% increase on just equity here on this individual name. So congratulations. And also another interesting piece of news here, Renaissance Technologies, founded by legendary mathematician Jim Simons, who recently passed away, I believe last year, filed a portfolio update. Palantir is the largest holding there. So very interesting developments coming out of Rentech. Now, the next name that I want to talk about with everybody here is Sofi. Now, when we are thinking about Sofi here, again, this was a broken chart really up until the last couple of days here. We had a significant gap up on the earnings, the offering announcement, the closing of the offering, and a lot of volatility in this period right here. And when that happens, it's going to be very difficult to get a good understanding of where this chart wants to go next. But with what we are seeing now on the chart of Sofi, nice move to the upside, slowly pulling back to this 10 exponential moving average here. If we are able to form a nice period of consolidation and this market is able to hold on here and we don't see anything crazy, which I think is kind of asking a lot out of this market at this point, with all of the crazy news that we see every single day. But again, if we are able to see that nice period of consolidation on Sofi, we are going to have a very bullish setup here at the highs. We could easily end up breaking through that 25 area and potentially getting up into the 30s by the time the fall ends here, which could be an absolutely awesome period for a lot of you retail investors. Again, you guys know the deal with this one. I own a bunch of shares of this at $6.55. The last time that I was outlining that it was a smart decision to be buying Sofi here was based on this weekly chart, the weekly breakout of about 1360. Congratulations to everybody that has been paying attention to all of these crazy moves that I have been handing out to you guys for free on YouTube in the live streams there. I know that a lot of you guys are having a lot of success, and that's exactly what this channel is for. Now, the last one that I want to talk about with you guys here too is him. So there really were 2 points over, let's say, the last 3.5 months here where I thought it would be a smart decision to either put on a short-term trade or enter into a mid to long-term share position on HIMS. The first was around this $30 to $31 area, and that was an absolutely epic move up here into the 60s. And the second one was that short-term trade idea that I gave out to you guys on the streams here, right around this $53.20 area, ran through all of the targets, and then earnings came in and knocked HIMS back down. Now, I think that it's very possible that we see HIMS trading down to about that 200 exponential moving average here at right around 41. And at this point right here, the chart on HIMS is very, very clearly downtrending. So I would not go out at this moment right here and start going willy-nilly buying the same in any crazy size. But what I will say as well, HIMS is one that can make these crazy moves all over the place. So again, it is possible that HIMS just rockets right back to the upside. But overall, when looking at this chart here, this is not one that you want to go out and buy right now. So guys, that is mainly going to wrap up this video here. We have an exciting rest of the week here with Friday's trading day coming up tomorrow. Again, I'm going to be live for you guys at 9:15 a.m. Eastern time on this channel here, so make sure you guys turn on notifications. It's public live day. We're going to go have some fun. But again, guys, if you guys did enjoy the information and analysis that I provided for you guys in this video here, make sure you go down and hit that like button. Costs you nothing to do it, but helps me out a whole lot, spreading this information out to as many people who actually want to learn. I might not have told you guys this in the YouTube videos, but I'm probably the only content creator on YouTube that you guys have heard of that has literally been demonetized for talking about how many 1000% gain trades that they hand out to their community there. So that's pretty funny. But again, I just really want to make sure that you guys have the best information possible and can go into the market every single day with a better understanding of what to actually expect. So until next time, guys, I will see you. Peace.